welcome back to Our Corner of Maine. Today I'm going to be sharing with you a little bit into one part of my homemaker role, which is the organization of the home. And most specifically, I'm going to share with you today how I organize Weston's play yard, all of his toys, and how I rotate them in and out of use. I'm also going to, if I have the courage, show you a little bit into our storage space upstairs, and in general just how I organize the things in our home and keep them easily accessible and in the right spot. So let's get right into it. So here I am in Weston's play yard. It's about 8 by 10 and it's on the edge of our living room here, so it's quite centrally located when Ben and I are milling around in the rest of the house. I tried filming this with Weston, but trust me, your ears would have suffered. He's really loud at this stage in his life, and he just yells "mama" all the time at the top of his lungs, and so I had to put him in the other room to play for a little bit, but so we primarily keep all of his toys in here. I think it encourages some focus in his play. I was finding that when his toys were all throughout the house, that he was getting so easily distracted and jumping from one thing to the next because he realized he could move somewhere else and just bring his toys everywhere. Now, of course, we let him take his toys out of his play yard and play with them in different settings and explore that way. I think that's really important. But in general, most of his independent play is done in here. I also come in here with him to play and encourage different types of play and, push for different skills to be used and developed. But in general, we have it set up that this box here holds some toys that I rotate in and out for him. He's not at the point where he knows how to open that yet. I'm sure we'll get there soon. But I do a soft rotation of his toys by keeping some toys. All of his books are kept in here, all of the books that are currently down here. And I will do a soft rotate, which means I'll just pull some of those toys out right here and tuck a couple in there. But then I do a hard rotate, meaning I go upstairs and I get his tote that is much bigger, more substantial, bring that down and truly flip his toys to about 90% fresh toys. When I say fresh toys, it's toys he has played with before, and they're all age appropriate, but it's just probably been 3 weeks since he has seen them, so they're fresh to him. When it comes to rotating, I don't put myself on a schedule. I really listen for his cues. If I'm noticing he's really having a short period of independent play, or he's just not showing a lot of interest in what he has at the moment, is when I realize, okay, within the next couple of days, I really need to do a hard rotate, and so I head upstairs to the tote. So I'm gonna get going on rotating because today is a rotation day. I noticed he's just having really short windows of interest, and so it's time to give him some freshness. There's a couple different things that I try to consider when I'm rotating his toys, and that is to not have too many like items out at a time. I try to engage different senses of him, and I also try to encourage different motor skills. So as I'm analyzing, I look through, I make sure that I don't have all of his balls out in the same rotation, that I don't have too many tractors, because this boy owns more tractors than any child should ever own. I try to pull out toys that encourage like fine motor movements like this to open these little doors, as well as some more gross motor skills like kicking and throwing. And also he has some tried and true favorites, especially his tractors. So he'll always have several tractors out at a time, some that make noise, some that don't make noise. And we also keep books in the box over here. In this wooden box, this was actually made for me by my father when I was first born. But in here I keep some toys. I try to have a variety of different types, such as pop-ups, touch and feels, and then different topics as well, of course. I keep a lot of things in here that I only have him play with when I'm with him, meaning ones that I'm trying to teach him things by. It may be a toy that's just above his skill level, and so he needs some concentration and some guidance, or some that I really want to be a learning activity, such as fitting the shape into the hole and that sort of thing. So there's some just fresh toys in here, but there's also some sort of strategic learning toys in here. As I finish up rotating his toys, I don't want to for a second give the impression that his play yard is always kept clean and perfect and that I have it all researched and figured out. I have honestly just analyzed and implemented what's going to work well for Weston. And it all kind of sparked from a moment that honestly broke my heart. It was the day after his birthday party, in which he had gotten plenty of toys. And I thought it would be fun to lay all of his toys out in front of him and so he could see them all at once. And I plopped him down and I watched him get overwhelmed. And I felt so badly because those gifts were given out of love and they have great purpose and great opportunity for him to learn and explore them. But I watched him kind of just freeze out of feeling overwhelmed, I imagine. And so it was in that moment that I realized, okay, I'm not gonna do tons of research about what everybody else does, but I'm just gonna try this system and see if it works for him. And in fact, just a couple days ago, my mom was here and I said, I need to go clean up Weston's play yard because he had had too many small things out. He had pulled a lot out of the box and everything, and he had a lot of pieces out, and I could just, he wasn't focusing well, he wasn't doing a lot of independent play. And I knew that I needed to tidy it up a little bit. And my mother mentioned how I was the same way. She said that I had to have a sparse space, that I had to have things out of sight in order to focus or do my homework or play independently, and how I am so similar to Weston in that way. And it kind of surprised me, but at the same time it didn't, because if you look at my home, you'll probably notice that I like a clutter-free space, and I honestly think it's because I need that. Some people would say my home is too sparse, that I don't have enough decorations out, that I don't have enough things out. But clutters my mind. It's noisy to me in my mind. And so I'm just thankful that I'm learning that in myself now as a mother, so that I can set up a space for Weston that is beneficial to him and that he can truly learn in, and that won't overwhelm him. So that's all I'm doing, is just trying my best as a mother to provide that space for him. And I find it neat that we're so interestingly similar in this way. This is an overview of his space after I have rotated and decluttered for him. He has about 5 toys in that walker wagon, and we get the things off the sill for him as needed. And then, trust me, when he gets in here, all the little pieces will get pulled out and he'll play with them and it'll be a mess. I do not expect him by any means to keep it tidy, but this is just what I provided for him for space, and now it's time for us to go bring those upstairs to the storage room. All right, we're upstairs now. This is a part of the house that we haven't touched at all as far as renovations go. I can't believe I'm showing you this space, to be honest. Who hops on YouTube and is like, hey, here's my storage room? I just honestly feel like we have a good system going on up here. It works well for us. And so I wanted to show you. I have a couple disclaimers though. First, this room does not always stay this tidy. You guys have caught me at a good tidy time. Especially right after Weston was born, we would just come up and tuck and shove, and we wouldn't put things in the totes that they belong in, and so the room kind of fell apart. But if we just take 2-3 minutes and find the tote it goes in, this works really, really well for us. I wanted to share. Also, I did not buy all of these totes in one fell swoop. I bought them over several years. A couple I've had since high school, some I've had, in college, and when I started living on my own. And so this is an accumulation of several years. I didn't want it to look like I had just purchased all of this just for one organization project, but let me show you the room and kind of how the toy rotation fits into this room. All right, this is the room, and that's my tote wall. It just works really well for us. Some people would probably say it's excessive, but I keep some of my decor, off-season decor up here stored, and then over here we have the totes. They're all labeled, various topics for the future, like maternity, nursing, all of our craft stuff, extra blankets, paper and plastic products, pillows, camping gear, camping bedding, Christmas decor, winter outerwear, toys for future babies. So these are toys that are below Weston's age. I have consignment totes. I consign our items at a local consignment shop. Clothing for future babies. So I have 2 of those actually. So stuff Weston has outgrown, photos, diapers and wipes, stuff like that. So those are kind of the categories for us. This is a project I need to get to, all of Ben's winter outdoor farming gear that he needs to get put away. So, and then the rest of the room just kind of looks like this. Those are empty. I think they need to go out to the garage for some organization out there. Can't believe I'm about to show you this. This is just some extra, winter jackets and snowmobile helmets and boots and stuff we don't use very often. I'm thankful for these closets. They definitely have some good space to them. I keep all of like our extra paper products, tissues, paper towels, that sort of thing, and just miscellaneous baby gear. But that's our organization up here. So how that relates to the toys is, here's his toys that I just rotated out. And he's just not gonna play with the barn for a couple weeks because he's played with it for about a month straight now. So, and then every once in a while I'll go through and analyze, okay, has he outgrown some toys? Because if he has, it needs to go to that tote. And of course he often gets new toys because family spoils him. So this is how we keep our life semi-organized up here and part of our rotation system. So across the hall, still upstairs, is our guest room. And here we have our bookshelf of all the books. This is all the books for everyone in the family. Ben and I have ours down here on the bottom. And then the shelves are sort of organized. The top is books that are paper pages that he can't play with by himself right now without destroying. So those are a little bit higher. The second one down is faith-based books and kids' Bibles. Right there is his little baby book that I record little milestones in. And then the third one down is the majority of his books that are a lot of his favorites, and I come in every once in a while and grab a variety of them and change out the ones that he has in the wooden box downstairs. In a future video, I plan to share with you how I rotate my home decor. Yes, I do rotate that as well, and it really works well for us. I do it less scheduled and a little bit more on a whim, but I'll show you how I organize that and kind of the intentionality behind it. And I know that Ben has expressed several times that he really enjoys that I do that. It gives us a fresh perspective on our space without having to constantly be buying new things and spending money on those things. And so I'll share with you about that in the future. But for now, let's head right over to Ben because I know he wants to share with you a little bit about the trip he just got home from.
Hey guys, I'm back from Idaho. I went out there with a company to learn about new milking technologies, and it was a jam-packed 4 days, ton of information.
Long days.
Really long days.
Information overload.
Yeah, I made sure to take all kinds of notes because I didn't trust myself to remember it all. But it was also really exciting to learn about all this new stuff. And
also what an opportunity. I remember toward the end of college you were talking about how you don't want to be an island of a farm and you don't want to just be kind of stagnant with technology and progression. And I feel like this is an awesome opportunity to learn about what's out there and like consider the future of the farm. And
yeah, so it was really neat to be able to bring all this information back to everybody so we can talk about it. And there'll definitely be some decisions made in the next year and a half or so. So
he came back a chatterbox.
Yeah,
that first night he was just telling me all about what he'd learned and what he'd seen. And
yeah, there's a lot to think about and consider. So Idaho is definitely a lot different than Maine. Everything is so flat, you can see for miles and miles. But right through the middle of this town was this big gorge with a golf course at the bottom, and it's just beautiful.
Yeah, he sent me pictures and it's just stunning, but also just so different. That's part of what's so stunning about it, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And another thing about this town that I thought was kind of cool is my parents, back when I was Weston's age, considered actually moving out there and buying a farm. My parents and
Twin Falls, Idaho.
My parents and my aunt and uncles, and they considered having the family farm be out there, which is kind of odd to drive and walk through this town thinking that this could have been my hometown.
What are the chances of that? Like, them almost buying a farm in that town and then he has a conference in that exact town as an adult. Like,
pretty strange.
That's where his life almost was.
Yeah, but definitely glad to be home, back into my normal routine.
Yeah.
And
we're glad to have you back.
Back with home with my family.
Ben is getting the lawn mowed, but as Weston and I are spending some time out here, I just feel like our whole property is showing signs all around of springtime. And so I wanted to show you what springtime looks like here in our corner of Maine. Are you saying hi to our subscribers? Oh, you're giving them a kiss.
Hi.
Oh, you're being really nice to our subscribers, huh?
Hi.
Oh, good job.
Okay.
Don't touch, please. Cup your hands. Good kiss. You're being a ham. Where's Weston? Where's Weston? There he is.
Hi. Hi.
Hi, and welcome back to Our Corner of Maine. Today we're gonna have a little bit of a different video where we show you a little bit into...
Hi.
Oh yes, someone's eager. Oh, good job. Do I look good? Do you want it on?
Yeah.
It really helps his interest. It helps.
Hi.
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 I tried. Thank you.